Let's check this mic one more time. Can you hear me okay? Thank you. Thank you for coming. In fact, thank you for supporting live performance. In this day and age when everybody's got a computer on this hip and a phone on this hip and flat screen TVs in every bedroom, it's beautiful to see what still happens. So thank you for coming out. My name is Mitch Mamina. I have a record company. I live in St. Joe, Michigan. And for those of you who haven't been to St. Joe, come on over, it's beautiful. Sandy beaches, beautiful sunsets, right on the water, every day, it's beautiful. About 2.5 years ago, I got a phone call from somebody named Jordan Margolis. We didn't quite get it together. About a half a year after that, it was warm, Jordan called me again. I remember it well. It was a Friday night, and I was rollerblading on the beach, about 82 degrees, getting ready for the sunset. And by the time I was done talking to Jordan, he had me convinced that the greatest thing I could do would be to go to Chicago the next day, meet him in his office, and talk about this musical that he'd written. And I'm thinking to myself, 82-degree weather and a beach, or Chicago downtown the next day. The next day I'm driving to Chicago, and I get into the biggest parking lot of a traffic jam that I'd ever been in. I called Jordan. I said, Jordan, if you can make it another time, whatever works for you, but there's no way I'm going to get to 77 West Wacker Drive by the time that we had talked about. And I'll never forget 77 West Wacker Drive. I don't know why, but it's in my brain forever at this point. I get to the city eventually, because Jordan says, no, keep coming, I'll wait for you, whatever it takes. When I get to the city, it's completely empty. Nobody. And I'm thinking to myself, everybody's at the beach. That's why it's empty. Finally, I see 77 West Wacker Drive, and there's somebody standing on the corner. I park the car, I go across the street, and I hear, is that you, Mitch? And I said, is that you, Jordan? He said, it sure is. Come on up to my office. And I thought to myself, now I know this guy. He's the guy that advertises at noon every day on WGN. It's that attorney guy. That guy can't write. He's an attorney. So we get in the elevator, we go up 32 floors, and all the way up I'm thinking, we're going to find this mahogany table and this leather back chairs. His is going to be 6 foot tall. I'm going to be sitting way down here, and he's going to talk to me about this play. And you have to keep in mind where I come from. I get 4, 5, 6, 7 calls a week about my daughter, my cousin, my friend, my play, my song, my this. For some reason I came. And when I got there, I'm thinking mahogany table and leatherback chairs. All of you are invited to help me prove this out. Jordan opens up his door to his office. And it's like a collage of Perry Mason meets Woody Allen meets Pee Wee Herman. It's amazing, those of you who've been. I walk in his office and there's pictures on the wall from the last 10 plays that he's written. And there's toys on his glass top desk. And I think I'm sitting in a chair that's shaped like a hand. And then you look over here and there's a life-size figure of Michael Jordan. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is a lawyer. I look at the view of the Chicago River 32 stories down and thinking I should have been a lawyer. Jordan plugs in a CD, and after about halfway through the CD of this incredible music, and I come from the music business, he said, "That's Jack Cooley. He's the guy that wrote all the music to my play." No wonder I came there. I at least got some music out of the deal. It was perfect. He says, "Here, take a script, go home and read it." I got to Gary. I called up Jordan. I said, "Jordan, I pulled over. Let's do it. Tonight I will promise you 3 things. The first thing I'll promise is that you will catch some Jordan Margolis magic. The second thing I promise to you is you're going to feel great about what you're doing. At the intermission, go out and just see the number of shoes that showed up here, if nothing else. The third thing I promise you is you will hear again about the play Shoes." Thank you for coming out. I'm now going to introduce 2 very, very special people. Mary Ruth Coffey is the Executive Director for Connections to the Homeless in Evanston, and Rabbi Brant Rosen of the Jewish Reconstructionist Congregation. If they could join me out here. I now give up the microphone. Have a great show.
Good evening. On behalf of Connections for the Homeless and all of the men, women, children, families that we serve each day, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight for this fabulous production of Shoes. I also want to thank Jordan Margolis for writing this fabulous play and for his brilliance and for his energy. I think that the play is incredibly important, and it's one that we can all relate to if we're honest with ourselves, and one whose theme and title, Shoes, is perhaps even more relevant to the reality of homelessness in our community than even Jordan may realize. Finding and having decent shoes is not only a literal and chronic problem for those who are experiencing homelessness, it is also true that shoes and feet are embodied in many of the metaphorical phrases we use to describe empathy, stability, and health, 3 things that are critical for ending homelessness. This musical is very intentionally about empathy. It is about walking in one another's shoes. And this is the first thing that is precisely what we in our communities must embrace in order to end homelessness. If we who are housed walked a mile in the shoes of someone who is not, we would experience hunger, disenfranchisement, scorn, loss of relationship and involvement in our community, loss of privacy, inability to maintain health, sadness, cold, among many other things. If we walked in these shoes, we would know that it is intolerable that anyone wear these shoes, and we would do as individuals and as a community what is needed to end homelessness. Empathy. The second thing that shoes represent and that we must recognize as impossible to achieve without a home is stability. How much time have we actually spent thinking about the fact that our feet are our base? They are the base from which our physical selves operate and move through everything we do. Just as it is our feet which provide the foundation for the stability of our bodies, so does a home provide the foundation and stability for realizing our potential in the world. Could you imagine not having this space, living on the streets, not only not having adequate shoes to ground your body, but not to have a stable home to ground your very being and life? On January 25th of this year, we counted 125 people living on the streets of Evanston alone. These, in addition to the 36 people residing at Hilda's Place Shelter at Connections for the Homeless. In addition to the 10 families living in our transitional housing program. In addition to the 60 families on the waiting list for that housing program. And in in addition to the hundreds of individuals and families who sought assistance this year for prevention funds to prevent their imminent homelessness. There are thousands of people in our immediate midst who do not have the base which we enjoy, who are not on their feet, and who therefore do not have the stability so vital to everything else in life. Stability. And how are shoes related to the health of people experiencing homelessness? Shoes protect us, keep us healthy. Now, we Nordstrom shoppers don't always have this in mind when through the thousands of aesthetically pleasing shoes at Nordstrom's, that not only are these shoes beautiful and fun, but they also enable us to walk, hopefully, and protect our feet from the elements. People who are homeless are in the elements 24/7. Without proper shoes, homeless people's feet are not protected, the foundation of their bodies afflicted, and many health problems result. Through our health services program at Connections, we have discovered that one of the greatest health problems of people experiencing homelessness is their feet. Thus, when we say metaphorically that we want to help people get on their feet, we must also acknowledge that in reality it is precisely because people without homes are always on their feet that their health suffers so greatly. You're here tonight to enjoy a very entertaining and funny musical, but you also are no doubt aware that part of your ticket contribution goes to help Connections for the Homeless end homelessness in our communities. We need and thank you for your partnership. Please visit our table during intermission or at the end of the show, where I know a lot of you have already made donations of shoes. If you want to make other donations as well, and you can learn about volunteer opportunities in our organization. Empathy, stability through housing, and health. These are the ingredients it will take for us to end homelessness so that everyone in our community is healthily on their feet. I have no doubt we have the capacity if we work together for all three. And now, as these boots were made for walking, I'm going to get off the stage so we can enjoy this wonderful show.
We've been given strict instructions to stay here, actually. I want to say, well, first of all, I want to thank Mary Ruth for her very powerful remarks. It's a real honor for JRC to be collaborating with Connections for such a worthy cause. Several months ago, Mary Ruth gave me a tour of Hilda's place at one of the Connections facilities. And it's been a real honor to be able to collaborate with you, and we look forward to many future such projects together. I just want to say, well, first of all, I want to come clean on a certain level. I need to take responsibility, and JRC, I think in a very real way, needs to take responsibility for really, essentially being the ones who have unleashed Jordan Margolis on the world. And I think you know what I mean. You may have heard of JRC. We do a little synagogue thing on the side, but we mainly exist to produce these amazing orange reels that Jordan has been churning out on a regular basis. And we've all been hearing for so long about this musical. We are thrilled to be able to be part of its debut here in our area, in our backyard. It occurs to me tonight that really this evening, it's a wonderful evening of theater, as Mary Ruth said, but it's really also in many ways a celebration of a confluence of things that have something very profound and important. It's a confluence of spiritual community, of our congregational community coming together. It's a celebration of important community-based work that's being done on a daily basis to address very real needs of homelessness in our community. And it's a celebration of theater and all that theater represents and what theater can be as far as a transformative impact in our world. And all of these three things have a great deal in common. They are all, on one level, a search for a kind of transcendent truth in the world, and they're all about bringing people together and about community. And I think ultimately that's what we are all here to celebrate. So I know we've been looking forward to this evening for a long time. It's wonderful to be together, and thank you so much for coming out to support the production, to support Connections, to support JRC. And now, though they need no introduction, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the two men who made this all possible, who brought us all here, and who have been waiting patiently for us to conclude our remarks so we can bring them out. Jordan Margolis and Jack Cooley.
Not too shabby. How the heck did we wind up here, Jack?
Two reasons. Judy Holstein.
Judy Holstein. It is Judy Holstein's fault. You guys remember, a little over 10 years ago, it was a Thanksgiving 2006. I decided, because I'm vice president of membership, we need to energize the synagogue a little bit. So we'll put on a Purim spiel, and I'll write one. I never wrote one before, but I'll write one. And I say, Judy, I'm going to write this Purim spiel. I think it's going to be Miss Shushan, based on Miss Saigon. And Judy says, Miss Saigon's not funny. I'll make it funny. It's not funny. I don't understand how you can make it funny. I'll make it funny. Director. She does, okay. She says yes. And she pulls in Paulette Herbstman to be the costumer. And we have an rehearsal. We have an audition. And nobody shows up. I don't have a leading lady. And I say, well, that was a good idea. She says, you know the lines. You wrote them. You can be the leading lady. Paulette, get to work. Paulette gives me the blonde wig, the blousey blouse, the skirt made out of scarves, which, fast forwarding 10 years later, this past January, guess what picture turns up in Super Lawyers magazine with yours truly in the blonde wig? So I say, hey Mom, I made Super Lawyers. Finally, guess what? I had to be in drag, but I made it. And Mom says, did they spell your name right, sonny boy? And I said, they did, Mom. She said, that's all that matters. So then we did a couple shows, and I needed a piano man. And Judy Holstein says, oh, I got a guy who can play piano. My good friend Jack Cooley. He brings in Jack, and he schleps in his Catholic buddy to our Reconstructionist show, John Houston, who's up there now, and has been in every show since, doing drums and percussion. And we put on a couple shows. Eventually, Jack says, I gotta do something else, but get me somebody else. So Judy finds David Manowitz, who's up there now, as our musical director. And Jack... That's right! It's his birthday! Let's sing happy birthday to David. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear David. Happy birthday to you. So Jack says, well, you don't need me anymore. Why don't we do an original show?
Yes, and along came, as you've heard, David Manowitz, and he has been a wonderful musical director for JRC. He's our musical director tonight, and he was the musical director for the CD that we recorded and you can order outside lobby tonight during intermission while you're trying on your shoes t-shirts. How's that go?
Oh, Jack, what a shameless promotion. I can't believe it. Shame on you. Shame on you for not mentioning all the Margolis Mania paraphernalia out there that I have donated for tonight that they should buy. The Misadventures of Excuse Man, my humor novel that just was published. You can buy it. I'll autograph it if you buy it. The Grave Advice Calendar comic strip, you can get it, and it's timely, July 1st, 2007 through June of 2008. And also the comic strip calendar, a year's worth of excuses. You can never go around without an excuse pond with you. I've got every excuse for you for the next year. You'll buy another calendar after that, I'll have more excuses for you.
I promise this introduction is going to end if I have anything to do with it. But we do have to acknowledge a few more people. Some wonderful people. We have to go back to Judy Holstein because she made available our rehearsal studio, which is the Council for the Jewish Elderly. And we did everything there. constructed the elevator set that you're going to see in just a couple minutes. Stored all kinds of plants that were that the Northlight Theater allowed us to use. You'll see them tonight in a second. Yes, we definitely owe a lot to Judy. I'd like to acknowledge the beautiful and talented Angela Allen, who is co-director and choreographer. Stephen Packard, who actually was our design consultant for the elevator set. Alan Rubin, who actually constructed the elevator set. And Relitsa Vladimirov and her crew, who actually painted the set. And you'll see this set. And I think that's at the end of my list.
Jack and I did write shoes, and it's our hope that we, this Catholic and I, can be theatrical reconstructionists. What, David? I'm trying to get this done.
You talk and talk and talk. Let me say something.
It's not time yet, David. Give me a minute. Let me say something else. Then you can talk. It's your birthday. I'll let you say something. Hold on a minute. Judy, why'd you bring me here? We're theatrical reconstructionists because we believe that theater shouldn't be a community building experience for just one special event like tonight. And tonight's marvelous, and I thank you all for bringing the shoes that you brought here, because that's part of what we're going to be doing wherever and whenever we perform shoes. As many thousands of times we will across the country, we will have audience bringing shoes. And there's one more interactive piece of this interactive theater, this reconstructionist theater. We'd like, after the curtain call, everyone who's been involved in the production, everyone who's involved in any other production that I've done over the last 10 years, and everyone in the audience tonight, we are going to link with the cast, and this magical moment will be spread from stage to the audience. And with Jack's magnificent score echoing in your memories, you will always remember as you leave here, there's a job to do. There are people less fortunate. And with his music, which you will not forget, especially if you buy the CD, you will realize how this can be a reconstructionist theatrical experience. David, what do you want?
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off your cell phones and grab your candy.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, the world premiere of Shoes, an original, comical, huggable, huggable musical!
shoes. Take a walk in my